It's just remarkable to think these simple women made such a difference in a whole nation being saved. Hi friends, I am here in the West MacDonnell Ranges in the Northern Territory, which is outback Australia. It is absolutely beautiful as sunset is happening. And I thought for story time, I would read to you a really neat account of 3 young women and a young girl and how they changed their world. A new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. Pharaoh said to his people,
"There are too many of those Israelites in our country, and they are becoming more powerful than we are. If we don't outsmart them, their families will keep growing larger. And if our country goes to war, they could easily join our enemies, fight against us, and escape from Egypt."
So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves and tried to wear them down with hard work. They forced them to build big cities for the king. Even though the Israelites were mistreated, their families grew larger and they took over more land. The Egyptians became alarmed and decided to make the people work so hard that their lives were miserable. Now, there were 2 midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, who helped the Hebrew women deliver their babies. One day, Pharaoh summoned them and gave them this command.
"If a Hebrew woman has a girl, let the baby live. If the baby is a boy, kill him."
But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. So they allowed the baby boys to live too. So Pharaoh called the midwives again.
"Why have you done this?
He demanded.
Why have you allowed the boys to live?"
The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, the midwives replied. They have their babies so quickly that we cannot get there in time. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. So the Hebrews kept increasing until finally Pharaoh gave a command to everyone in the nation.
"As soon as a Hebrew boy is born, throw him into the Nile River. Oh, you may let the girls live."
About this time, a man and a woman from the tribe of Levi got married. Sometime later, she had a baby boy. He was a beautiful child, and she kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she devised a plan. She made a basket out of reeds and covered it with tar and pitch to make it waterproof. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the banks of the Nile River. Her young daughter Miriam helped and then stood at a distance, watching to see what would happen to her baby brother. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and her attendants walked along the riverbank. When the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it for her. As the princess opened the basket, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Then Miriam approached the princess. "Shall I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked.
"Yes, do," the princess replied.
So Miriam went and got her mother.
"Take this baby and nurse him for me,"
the princess told the baby's mother.
"and I will pay you for your help."
So she took her baby boy home and nursed him. Later, when the boy was older, she brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own. The princess named him Moses. That's an Egyptian word which means, "I lifted him out of the water." Now, isn't that an interesting account? You know, when I think about this time and these women and what they did, I mean, the two midwives, they put their lives on the line by disobeying Pharaoh. And God blessed them. And then Moses' mom, she hid her baby and she made a plan to save him. And sure enough, that baby would be the one who would grow up and he would lead the Israelites out of slavery and into freedom. It's just remarkable to think these simple women made such a difference in a whole nation being saved. I find that incredible, and I find that really inspiring. And I think, what can little old me do to help in preserving and saving the younger generations coming through? Well, it's about time for sunset. So I think I will show you some of the sunset out here in the outback and let you enjoy it. And thanks so much for watching. And we'll catch you next time with Storytime with Susan.